For bees, the hornet is a nightmare, larger, stronger, and capable of killing dozens of bees in minutes. In individual combat, bees would lose instantly, but they have evolved.
A bee's battle does not begin with a sting. It begins with information. At the entrance of every hive, there are guard bees. They are not stronger or more aggressive than others, but they possess the most critical ability: early threat detection. A single trigger is enough: unusual vibrations, a foreign scent, a shadow crossing the entrance, the breath of a mammal. The guard bee reacts in less than 1 second, but what follows is where the real danger starts. Once a threat is confirmed, the guard bee does not sting immediately. Instead, it releases a special chemical signal known as an alarm pheromone. This signal has no sound, has no visible form, but spreads rapidly through the air. Within seconds, the entire hive turns into a living neural network, hundreds of individuals reacting as a single organism without commands. Worker bees inside stop foraging, stop caring for larvae, instantly switch into defensive mode. No individual bee understands the whole situation. Each one follows a simple rule: if you smell this pheromone, prepare to fight. Yet when hundreds do this simultaneously, the response becomes precise, faster than any single animal, nearly impossible to deceive. To bees, it is the line between survival and extinction. A delayed response means the hive is destroyed. Larvae die, the lineage ends. That's why a bee's aggression is not rage. It is evolutionary speed refined over millions of years. A bee's war begins with scent, and by the time you notice it, the hive is already ready. The information travels faster than the threat can move. Every wing beat is a signal. Returning foragers sense the shift immediately. They drop their cargo and join the wall of defense. The gland at the tip of the abdomen is the trigger. By exposing it, the guard bee broadcasts the alert to every neighbor. It's a chemical chain reaction. One bee alerts 10, 10 alert 100. Exponential communication. We call it a silent siren because while we see nothing, to the hive, it is as loud as a thunderclap. The wall of bees is not just physical, it is a mental state. They are no longer individuals. This precision is unmatched in the animal kingdom, a system where the collective is smarter than the sum of its parts. Millions of years of refinement have led to this moment, a strategy perfected by the ancient laws of nature. For the intruder, the air itself becomes hostile. The scent of fear is replaced by the scent of war. When the threat retreats, the siren fades, but the awareness remains. The hive never truly sleeps. Information is the ultimate weapon. In the world of the hive, the war is won before the first sting is ever delivered.
Once the alarm pheromone spreads through the hive, bees do not attack blindly. They enter a phase of weapon selection, and that weapon is the stinger. But a bee stinger did not evolve to kill instantly. It evolved to mark a target and amplify the attack. This is a weapon of communication as much as defense. Through millions of years of natural selection, the stinger became more than just a defensive tool. It became a biological beacon for the entire hive. A worker bee stinger is a precise biological weapon. It consists of tiny backward-facing barbs, a venom sac, and an autonomous pumping muscle system. These barbs are the key to its effectiveness and its tragedy. They are designed to hook deep into the skin, ensuring the weapon stays behind even if the bee cannot. When a bee stings mammalian skin, the stinger becomes lodged. The barbs act like anchors, preventing easy removal and sealing the bee's fate. As the bee pulls away, the stinger is torn from its body, along with vital internal organs. The bee dies shortly afterward, having given everything for the hive. But the story does not end with the bee's death. In fact, for the intruder, the most dangerous part of the encounter is just beginning. Here is the unsettling scientific fact: after the bee leaves, the stinger continues to contract, pumping venom into the victim for several more seconds. Simultaneously, the stinger releases a potent cloud of attack pheromones. This chemical signal is the summoning orders for the rest of the army. This means the first sting is not meant to finish the enemy, it is meant to call reinforcements. The sting site becomes a biological target marker. The more bees arrive, the stronger the pheromone signal becomes. The attack escalates exponentially as more and more soldiers lock onto the target. Why do bees target the face and head? It's not out of revenge, but because their reflexes follow a relentless biological logic. The face produces high levels of CO2 from breathing, strong sweat odors, and rapid movements. These signals intensely stimulate alarm pheromones. That's why bees often focus on the eyes, nose, and mouth. Not out of malice, but because those areas broadcast the strongest threat signals to the hive. The scientific climax of this story is programmed sacrifice. A worker bee cannot reproduce and lives only 4 to 6 weeks. She has evolutionary value primarily through timely sacrifice. One individual dies, so the hive survives. In the world of bees, a sting is not anger, it is the opening signal of collective defense. Nature's ultimate alarm system, perfected over millions of years. The sting is not meant to kill, but to summon an army.
For bees, the hornet is a nightmare, larger, stronger, and capable of killing dozens of bees in minutes. In individual combat, bees would lose instantly, but they have evolved a strategy that astonished scientists. They form a living sphere, a weapon with no claws. Hundreds of these rush in, not to sting, but to grapple. Inside this heat ball, bees vibrate their muscles, generating friction that raises the temperature to 47 degrees. Hornets die at 45 degrees, but honeybees can tolerate 48. It is a precise biological calculation. Hot enough to kill the enemy, but safe enough for the hive. This is collective decision-making in its purest form. Alone, a bee is fragile. Together, they become a living thermal weapon. Power comes from coordination. In the hive, the message is clear: you do not pass. Coordination is the ultimate defense.
After the heat ball, many assume bees are creatures that always fight to the end. Science reveals something far more precise and ruthless. Bees do not fight for victory. They fight for the survival of the system. This is the core of their collective intelligence. When bees attack, it is unconditional violence. They escalate into full attack mode only when multiple conditions align. The enemy must be very close to the hive, posing a direct threat to the larvae or the queen. If they can't repel the intruder with warnings, they act. This escalation is especially critical during reproductive phases. At that point, bees hesitate no longer. Collective assault begins. Individual sacrifice is accepted as a necessary cost. They lose individuals to secure the future of the entire colony. What truly impresses biologists is that bees know when to stop. They reduce or end attacks the moment the threat moves away. When the reproductive zone is no longer threatened and alarm pheromones decline, the war ends. The objective is achieved. Bees do not pursue endlessly. Few species, humans included, do this well. They understand the limits of conflict. In the world of bees, there are no heroes, only systems. No individual is celebrated for bravery or remembered for sacrifice. No individual is greater than the system. When a worker bee dies, there is no ceremony, no legacy, and no mourning. Its function is immediately replaced. Bee intelligence lives in the system's ability to keep functioning, not in the individual. Bees teach a profoundly adult lesson: fighting is not always courage. Sacrifice is not always noble. Winning does not always mean surviving. They sacrifice only when truly necessary. They fight only when no alternative remains. They stop when survival is secured. This is collective intelligence at its highest level. It's about knowing the limits of power and the value of endurance. A single bee knows no fear. A swarm knows its limits. It operates with a wisdom that transcends the individual. True power is not endless advance, but knowing when to stop so the system can endure. This is the secret to their millions of years of success. In the end, we are all part of a larger system. Perhaps we can learn something from the hive. Know your limits. Endure.